Matthew 24, verse 1. You see all these? I tell you, every stone will be thrown down, till there is not a single one left standing upon another. And in verse 4, be careful that no one misleads you, for many men will come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and they will mislead many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. Don't be alarmed. Such things must indeed happen. But that is not the end. For one nation will rise in arms against another, one kingdom against another. There will be famines and earthquakes in different parts of the world. But all that is only the beginning of the birth pangs. For then comes a time when men will hand you over to persecution and kill you, and all nations will hate you because you bear my name. Then comes a time when many will lose their faith and will betray and hate each other. Yes, and many false prophets will arise and will mislead many people. Because of the spread of wickedness, the love of most men will grow cold. While the man who holds out to the end will be saved. This good news of the kingdom will be proclaimed to men all over the world as a witness to all the nations, and the end will come. When a time comes, then, that you see the abomination of desolation prophesied by Daniel standing in a sacred place, the reader must note this. Then is it time for those in Judea to escape to the hills. A man on his housetop must not waste time going into his house to collect anything. A man at work in the fields must not go back home to fetch his clothes. Alas for the pageant. Alas for those with tiny babies at the time. Pray God that you may not have to make your escape in the winter or on the Sabbath day, for then there will be great misery, such as has never happened from the beginning of the world until now, and will never happen again. Yes, if those days had not been cut short, no human being would have survived. But for the sake of God's people, those days are to be shortened. If anyone says to you then, look, here is Christ, or there he is, don't believe it. False Christs and false prophets are going to appear, produce great signs and wonders to mislead, if it were possible, even God's own people. Listen, I am warning you, so that if people say to you, there he is, in the desert, you are not to go out there. If they say, here he is, in this inner room, don't believe it. For as lightning flashes across from east to west, so will the Son of Man's come and be. Wherever there is a dead body, the vultures will flock. Immediately after the misery of those days, the sun will be darkened, the moon will fail to give her light, the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers of heaven will be shaken. Then a sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky, and the nations of the earth will wring their hands as they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of the sky in power and great splendor. And he will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his chosen from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. Learn what the fig tree can teach you. As soon as its branches grow full of sap and produce leaves, you know that summer is near. So when you see all these things happening, you may know that he is near, at your very door. Believe me, this generation will not disappear till all this has taken place. Earth and sky will pass away, but my words will never pass away. But about that actual day and time, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, only the Father. For just as life went on in the days of Noah, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. In those days before the flood, people were eating drinking, marrying, even given in marriage, till the very day that Noah went into the ark, and knew nothing about the flood until it has come and destroyed them all. So will be at the coming of the Son of Man. 2 men will be in a field, one is taken and one is left behind. 2 women will be grinding at the handmill, one is taken and one is left behind. You must be on alert then, for you do not know when your master is coming. You can be sure of this, however, that if the householder has known what time of night the burglar would arrive, he would have been ready for him and would not have been allowed his house to be broken into. That is why you must always be ready, for you do not know what time the Son of Man will arrive. End of verse 44. Verse 45. Who then is the faithful and sensible servant, whom his master put in charge of his household to give others their food at the proper time? Well, he is fortunate if the master finds him doing that duty on his return. Believe me, he will promote him to look after all his property. But if he should be a bad servant, who says to himself, my master takes his time about returning, and should begin to beat his fellow servants and eat and drink with drunkards, that servant's master will return suddenly and unexpectedly, and will punish him severely and send him off to share the penalty of the unfaithful, to his bitter sorrow and regret. End of chapter 24.